Welcome back to JDA Football Podcast. On this episode, we are going to be bringing you congratulations to Liverpool. It's killing me saying that. Recent news, match reviews, transfer news, contract extensions for different players at different clubs.
You broke it.
Hopefully, that should be good. But yeah, we've got a little private chat going on, and Alex is doing not nice words here to the Liverpool fans, but we will keep those words from this podcast. But hope you enjoy this episode. To start off, we're going to have to congratulate Liverpool. Me and Alex have, if you watched the stream last night, this is a dark day in English football and the Premier League for everyone, I think, not just the rivals, but it hurts the rivals the most. What about you, Joe? How are you feeling?
Well, I can't believe they've actually finally done it.
30 years, Jesus.
30 years, and they've been smug throughout. They haven't won a Premiership in 30 years, and they've still been smug every single time I've talked to any Liverpool fan. And now they've won. I can't imagine what's coming now.
I mean, I saw the celebrations last night outside Anfield. Clearly no social distancing going on there.
Yeah, they should be rejected the title because their fans are just not abiding just law at the moment. So if it could be passed down to 12th place, that would be greatly appreciated.
Right, so the Champions League is being rebooted, sort of, but it's a restart, really, from this season. And it will be across 19 days, I think. So the last of 16 will take place on the 7th to the 8th of August. All of these venues in the last 16 of venues to be decided over Europe, with the quarterfinals taking place from the 12th of August to the 15th in Lisbon, and the semi-finals on the 18th to the 19th will take place in Lisbon as well, with the final on the 23rd of August in Lisbon. What do you think about that, Joe? The setup's a bit different this year.
Yeah, it's a bit weird that they're doing it all in Lisbon. Why particularly Lisbon?
I'm not sure. That might have not as many cases of coronavirus. I'm not too sure, and they might have facilities, but
yeah,
hold the European training and cup competitions. But yeah, it's a bit of a weird one how they're just doing it there.
Yeah, it is, especially because they're not using some of the more famous, prestigious grounds like Camp Nou or other grounds.
Yeah, Alex, what do you think?
Well, I find it weird how they're just doing it over 19 days, seeing as clubs already have a very busy schedule for the end of the season. I know we were watching some of the games and some teams look absolutely shattered after playing just one or two matches, and I think the English teams, especially still in the Champions League, will probably struggle in the league now that they've got that to deal with as well. So it should be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, so now we're going to go on to some match reviews, and we'll try and get through these quite quickly because there's quite a couple to get through. So we filmed our podcast last Saturday, and some of these games we're playing. So firstly, we'll start off with Watford 1, Leicester 1. Alex, what did you think of that game? I know you watched it.
So yeah, I think Watford overall were very good defensively. They managed to thwart the Leicester attack very well, and I think Leicester did have quite a couple of chances to score with Vardy in the first half, but obviously they failed to do so, and they were a bit unlucky to concede. I thought Watford after that Ben Chilwell absolute screamer, but obviously Dawson with the overhead kick in the last minute rescued a point for Watford, so I feel like a draw would have been a fair result for both the teams.
Yeah, the next game is Brighton versus Arsenal. It was 2-1 to Brighton, with Neil Maupay getting the last minute sort of winner and Dunk getting one in the 75th minute, with Pepe scoring an absolute banger in the 68th minute. But that was all overshadowed by a Matteo Guendouzi red card, which saw him get his hand and do the Darth Vader on him and get his neck and just go like that. It wasn't very forceful, but you could see it went into him. It was, I think, Maupay in the game said something about "you'll never earn as much as me" or something. It was either Guendouzi or one of them, but Yeah, just silly. But Brighton got the win there. So the next game is West Ham versus Wolves at the London Stadium. Alex, what did you make of this one?
So yeah, I think West Ham definitely played a lot worse defensively against Wolves than against Tottenham, I thought. Obviously, Raul Jimenez getting the one goal in the match, was it?
So Raul Jimenez got one, and Pedro Neto
Oh, yeah.
scored an absolute banger.
Oh yeah, I remember that. So yeah, obviously Pedro Neto still being a young player for Wolves out on the wing, and he just absolutely rocketed it into the top right corner. But yeah, West Ham defensively don't look on form. I think they improved a bit against Tottenham. They looked a bit more compact, but obviously Wolves look like they are battling for the Champions League places this season, and who knows?
Yeah, of course. And the next game is Bournemouth versus Crystal Palace. Of course, the first ever Premier League game to be televised on the BBC. And Milivojevic scored a brilliant free kick, and Ayew in the 23rd minute just scored a goal into the bottom left. It was a good goal, the play that went up to it. But yeah, Bournemouth look like they want to go down, and I presume they will go down. But yeah, Crystal Palace fully deserve that win. The next game is Newcastle versus Sheffield United, and it was 3-0 with John Egan getting sent off. Did you watch the highlights for this one, Alex?
Yeah. Newcastle, for me, looked reborn going forward, obviously, with Joelinton, Almiron, St. Maximin all leading the attack. And yeah, it was nice to see Joelinton getting a goal as well against a very resolute Sheffield United defence as well. But John Egan getting sent off early in the second half really didn't help, and then it just opened the floodgates afterwards. And Matt Ritchie also getting quite a good goal as well to make it 2-0 to Newcastle. So yeah, if Newcastle can keep this form up, I'm pretty sure they could do well next season.
Yeah. The next game was Aston Villa versus Chelsea, the 2-1 crushing defeat for Villa. What do you think of that one, Joe?
I was really disappointed with this game. Obviously, we were leading them at half time with a brilliant goal from Courtney Hawes, but then we fell to the Chelsea attack. Christian Pulisic scored in the 60th minute, not very far into the second half. I would have taken a draw at that point because it would have proved to our squad that we are a good side and that we can do well. But then 2 minutes after that, Olivier Giroud, he scored and it finished us off basically. Our heads dropped. We weren't coming back from there. I was really disappointed in that game because it just showed what our defence was like, because we make a lot of mistakes, and a goal 2 minutes after another goal, it's not good for any team. Yeah, really disappointed.
Yeah, of course, you were getting the winner in that match. Alex, the Merseyside derby, we did that game. What do you think of that?
It was intense most of the second half. In the first half, it was a little bit more open, seeing as no side really got a big chance in the game. I think we did enough to win it, actually. We did very well defensively. Obviously, fullbacks Coleman and Digne played very well, and then if Tom Davis had squeezed that in, it could have been our first win in the derby since 2010. So yeah, very close, and yeah, just a bit annoying, to be honest. We reduced Liverpool to not a lot of chances, sorry, and I feel like if we keep that going, obviously we did it against Norwich as well, which we'll talk about in a minute. But yeah, if we keep that going, I think we'll do well for the rest of the season.
I thought you were the better team that game because they obviously had more class than you, and you could see that on the pitch, but you reduced all of their chances to nothing, and you had a lot of very close chances. Just a shame you didn't win it.
Yeah.
The next game was the Manchester City battering of Burnley, which was a 5-0, which was overshadowed by some just stupid act from the Burnley. Well, we don't know if it was a Burnley fan, do we? But
yeah. And then Ben Mee talked after. If you want to go and watch that, it's on Sky and stuff. So
yeah, Ben Mee was very inspirational after the game. But going back to the actual football, Phil Foden, the Stockport Iniesta, came up with 2 goals, brilliant goals. and Mahrez got up with 2 goals as well, and so did David Silva. Very good game from City. That Burnley just didn't look like they wanted it, and City looked quite good, but we'll come on to the games that they didn't look so good too from yesterday, as you might have known.
Games
But going on
to
to the Tuesday games, and I'm not sure if anybody watched this. I didn't. It was Leicester versus Brighton, a boring 0-0. Alex, what do you think of this?
Oh, well, Brighton in the first half, obviously, they got a penalty in like the 15th minute with Schmeichel saving it from Neil Maupay, which he's been in the news quite often recently, obviously, for his performance against Arsenal. But both teams, obviously, they'd already played a match by then, and they both looked pretty sluggish. Both teams' defences didn't have much to do, and I think their attacks were just a bit too slow for both of the defences. So, yeah, it wasn't a very open game. I'd say Leicester were on top, as you'd expect. But, yeah, either team could have won it, and no team had the spark in the final third, I don't think.
Yeah, Leicester didn't look like the team that they were before lockdown, that's for sure. No. And also going on to the next game, which we also did a live stream for, was Tottenham versus West Ham, a 2-0 win with Souček, got it right this time, scoring an own goal, which West Ham really didn't deserve. They just had a couple of attacks after that, and then Harry Kane got a counter-attack from a Steven Bergwijn pass that led them 2-0 in front. It was a very even game. The scoreline does not recognise how much West Ham put effort in, and Jared Bowen, he was class, wasn't he, Alex?
Yeah, I think on the counter attack, a few times he should have scored, but yeah, it's all down to the defence that Tottenham put out. And although they were shaky at some points, especially with Jared Bowen and Mikel Antonio running at them, I think they did just enough to stop West Ham from getting back in the game.
Yeah, we're nearly there, folks. That's how to say it. Going on to the Wednesday games, we've got Manchester United versus Sheffield United. Probably the best Manchester United performance I've ever seen this season so far. And yeah, we played them off the park with some great one-touch passing. Matic surprisingly did well, and Bruno and Pogba worked very well together, as we thought they would. And yeah, United fully deserved it with a hat-trick since 2013 from Robin van Persie. 7 years later, Martial nets one for us. So yeah, that's always some good news. But going on to the next game, it was Newcastle versus Aston Villa. 1-1 with El Mohammadi getting that vital goal for Villa. What do you think of that, Joe?
I can't tell you how annoyed I was that we didn't win this. So obviously we evened the scoreline very late in the game with an Elmo goal in the 83rd minute. But apparently we were the better team throughout most of the game, and we had another shot on target. We could have won it in the last 2 minutes or something. Honestly, if we'd have won that would have taken us out of relegation zone, and it would, I'd be so much less stressed out. Because every game I'm biting my nails at if I'm watching it or not. I
saw Villa on tour, and he did an outro, but then he scrapped it and said, "I'm not putting this on." And then later on, he showed his deleted rant onto YouTube, and he was furious. He's saying, "We're going down at this rate if we're playing like this," which I think he's right, to be fair. But yeah.
I'm still hoping for your prediction. I'm still hoping that we're going to get a Samatta goal in the last minute against West Ham and we'll stay up.
Yep. But going on to the next game, on Wednesday, was Norwich versus Everton. Michael Keane getting the vital goal, Alex.
Yeah, it was, again, a very good performance defensively. We stopped Norwich from scoring a few times, and Pickford didn't really have that much to do. But again, attacking wise, we could have done quite a lot better, I think, with Richarlison and Calvert-Lewin having quite a few good chances. I think Iwobi looked like a different player than in the Merseyside derby, and yeah, he just brought that attacking spark on. When Sigurdsson came on for Davis, I really didn't like Davis. He brought some energy into the Merseyside derby, but against Norwich, he was just a bit meh. So when we brought Sigurdsson on, I feel like our attacking play going forward was flowing much better, and obviously Michael Keane becoming a dad a day before he scores the winner against Norwich for Everton in the Premier League. So a good week for him and a good week for us, to be honest. Another win and a draw in the Merseyside derby. So yeah, all round pretty good.
So the next game was Wolves versus Bournemouth. The 1-0 win with Jimenez getting the vital goal. And yet again, Adama Traore and Jimenez link up again, with Adama Traore beating his man on the right, crossing it in, and Jimenez gets the vital header. We've seen that twice now. That could be a theme. Who knows for Wolves? But yeah, Wolves fully deserved the win on that one. The next game was Liverpool versus Crystal Palace. Fabinho with an absolute rocket. What did you think of that, Alex?
Fabinho's goal was just unstoppable. You won't hit a ball any better than that anywhere, except maybe Kevin De Bruyne's free kick last night. So, well, sadly that came to nothing. So, yeah. Yeah.
The next game was on the Thursday, and it was Burnley versus Watford. I didn't watch this game, but I saw Jay Rodriguez's goal, and it was a 1-0 to Burnley. Did anybody watch the highlights or anything?
No.
No,
I wasn't really interested in that.
But yeah, the next game was Southampton versus Arsenal. I know you watched this, Alex. Eddie and Nketiah finally getting on the score sheet for Arsenal. What do you think of this one?
So yeah, another game for the Arsenal young players. Joe Willock, I think, got the other goal as well. And yeah, against a very good Southampton team at the moment. And yeah, I just feel Arsenal opened them up very well and exploited the places that teams haven't really been able to exploit this season. So yeah, hopefully Arsenal can build off that result and hopefully develop their season.
Yeah, and the next game was the vital game that would have stopped Liverpool from winning the title yesterday. But obviously, if you've been living under a rock, you know what it's come out as. It was Chelsea 2, Manchester City 1. Pulisic with a brilliant counter-attack goal, even though it was a mistake from Mendy and Fernandinho. We streamed this game, so this was just horrible to watch. Kevin De Bruyne scored an absolute worldie of a free kick. The dip on that was insane.
Crazy.
Yeah, it went crazy. Willian scored a penalty, which sent Liverpool Premier League champions. And yeah, City switched the play a lot, but as we said yesterday, Alex, too many touches for City, and that cost at the end. Yeah,
they just, in the final third, they were just too slow. They couldn't get into City at all. They were trying too many crosses to their 5'9" striker. So, and against Rudiger and Christensen, you're not gonna win any of those headers. They just played it wrong, and then Fernandinho doing that, getting a red card was just the icing on the cake for Liverpool, and an all-round bad performance from City compared to some of their other results.
City definitely got the game plan wrong there, and we'll go on to a quick score prediction for Joe, and it's on the Saturday at 12:30 tomorrow. Aston Villa versus Wolves. What do you think of this one, Joe? Wolves are in good form.
This game. I'm dreading it. We've got a really tough run over the next few weeks, and none of the teams around us seem to be struggling too much. We've got Wolves, and then Liverpool, and then...
You've got United, haven't you?
Yeah, we've got United after that, I think. Yeah, United.
I think Arsenal's in the mix there as well. I'm not too sure.
Yeah, that's in a few weeks. We've got a break from all the top 6 teams with Crystal Palace and then Everton. I actually can't wait for the Everton game. I think we might actually win that. We've taken the most points off Everton than any other club in the past 10 years, I think. And I'm just hoping that'll keep us out of the relegation zone. Same with the Crystal Palace.
They do sit 11th, Crystal Palace, and they weren't out today. Palace do sit 11th, contending with Arsenal and Tottenham.
I know it's going to be a tough game, but I still think we can get a couple of goals off it.
We'll see.
I think if you want to stay up, you're going to have to take points off us and Crystal Palace, because I don't think you're getting them off all of these Man United, Wolves and stuff. So
no, but our last game is West Ham. So if we get 3 wins against you, Crystal Palace, and West Ham, and maybe ride out the rest to a draw, I think we could still stay up.
But West Ham, Aston Villa on the last day of the season could be a big one, seeing where West Ham are right now, and they just took 2 losses as well.
It's
So,
a nail biter.
interesting. Even though the league's already won, we've still got a lot of excitement to come.
Yeah.
Well, we're
Stay
still even
tuned.
points with Bournemouth and West Ham. We're only in the relegation zone due to goal
God.
difference.
Yeah.